Hey everyone, welcome to the Human Cloud Podcast, the spot where leaders come to move the future work forward. Hey, so today we have part 2 of the panel at Malt's Freelance Forward. Now in part 2, we have a freelancer, we have a client, and we have a platform leader. In this case, Malt's Chief Product Officer. And what I really want you to listen for is I want you to listen to, number 1, how the client looks at freelance as a structural, systemic, and centralized strategy. Also, how they look at it as a growth function, not just, hey, this is cheaper, but this is a way to move our business forward. And the next thing I want you to look for is I do want you to understand deeply how Malt thinks about product. Because Malt is Europe's leading freelance platform, and they've also taken the charge in some of the recent AI advancements. So I want you to deeply listen to what their Chief Product Officer says about the industry, about Malt, you name it. So enjoy, then most importantly, go drive some change.
All right, so we're going to try to shoot for 3 laughs, okay, in this whole session. And once we do, you guys can go home or start talking to Malt reps. Listen, it's my honor to be with these 3 individuals, especially because we have all sides covered. So we have the freelancer side, the client side, and the Malt and the industry side. Now, I'll do a cute little intro, okay? Daniel over here, HR expert and global mobility consultant. Berlin, Chief Product Officer. I'm kind of intimidated. And then Andreas, CEO at Kirchhoff Consulting. So that right?
No.
Okay.
But
Perfect.
I'm partner and member of the executive.
It's only uphill from here, man. Okay. So, and we want you all to be asking questions all throughout. I have a question for you all. Who has had two drinks so far? No? Okay. Yeah, there we go. All right, sweet. So this first theme is going to be the state of freelancing in Germany and current challenges, okay? I want you all to keep your mouths shut about the current challenges for at least 15 minutes, okay? Now, I'm going to give a quick little rundown on stats. So right now, EU targets, you need 20 million ICT specialists by 2030, and you're only going to get 12 million, right? So the talent shortage is here, and it's real. Now, data from Malt. More than 2/3 of freelancers describe themselves as confident, and 90% have no plan to leave. Okay, so let that sink in. Last was the data on the return to office policy that I showed you. And so if you think that return to office is a good idea, maybe in very small segments, but I'm going to use American, I think it's really dumb. Now, Andreas, you ready to kick us off?
I am.
Okay, I'm going to ask you a really direct question. I'm working on being German. Why did you even come today? And what's the opportunity that you see in a freelance workforce and platform?
First of all, I was invited. So therefore, we work for years with Comet and Malt nowadays. So, and the experience is so wonderful that I said, okay, I'm absolutely willing to jump into the German band. Took hours today. We'll fly back tomorrow morning to Düsseldorf, but to share our experience, which we made over the last few years working together with Malt. And honestly, this you call it freelancers, we call it senior experts, because they become part really of our projects. They are part of our teams, of our culture. We work long term together, like the strategy which you mentioned before. So it's not like hiring and firing. That's a different model, maybe specific with consultancy. We have to respect the culture of our clients. We have to fit to this. And for that, we look for the best match. And whenever we need an extended team, some specific experts, we ask Malt. By the way, we also have our own consultancy freelancer group, which is also supporting us. But you mentioned the market. It's a huge market. So we need support also from Malt side for years. And that's a really close connection. And that's why I'm here.
I love it. Okay, Daniel, you are now in the hot seat. You ready? Why did you come? And you have a very funny question. And that is, do your parents and friends know that you freelance?
Yes, so why did I come? First of all, I live in Berlin. So it's I'm not that dependent on the Deutsche Bahn. So I could come could come along. And then I also have a very long tradition or relationship with co-match, now called Malt. So when I was forced out of my employment in 2017, I booked my seat on the co-match platform, and I got some projects, so it worked out. I was forced to test it, and it worked. And yeah, this is why I'm part of this freelance community, and I'm structuring it nowadays a bit differently than I used to do it. But yeah, this is why I'm here. I have good experience with being a freelancer.
And the last part?
My parents, they don't know. They don't need to know. But it's not, it's not a big deal. I'm a grown up. It's more about, what do I tell my kids? Do I encourage them to think side hustle and think freelancing?
I love it. Okay, Berlin, are you ready to be in the hot seat?
Sure.
You have a larger question. You know that, right? So we would like to know the state of freelancing in Germany. How would you describe the state of freelancing today?
So it's actually interesting because I think he mentioned it before, and he showed some stats. I'm the CPO at Malt, by the way, because he didn't say, but in case you were wondering, I do lead the platform that hopefully some of you use or will use. And we do this freelance report in Europe every year. And as he was saying, most of our freelancers are not looking for a job. 70% of them are very steady, as in like not even I would consider having a job. And if we look at the state of Germany, which I think it's one of the most interesting stats, is that more than 40% of the freelancers in Germany have been freelancing for more than 7 years, which is the most mature market of all the markets where we operate. And I think when we look at Germany or any other market where we operate, we think about what are the needs of our clients. And a lot of the time is finding that skill that you don't have in-house in a fast way. And when you look at freelancers, and I want to share this data because I think it's super interesting and I hope it sparks some of the curiosity. Freelancers in general spend 5 hours a week upskilling themselves. So they are always on top of the curve of the technologies, of any case of anything out there, especially in tech, obviously. And that's the most transformational part that we're seeing today. So freelancers are like the best way to find the right talent and get them in-house like really fast.
Beautiful. Okay, I have an exercise that I didn't tell Becca about, so don't freak out. Okay, I want you three to give me either a freelance is real, kind of real, maybe real, not real. What would you say?
In Germany?
Yep.
Or
It's real. Yeah.
Okay. Now I want audience, every single one of you. You get the thumbs up as high as you can. Okay. What do we got? We got real. Okay. We have no contrarians. That's good. That's good. Do you have a question? Think about it. I'll ask you later. So mostly here. Okay. So now we're going to dig into why. Okay. And we're going to really get into potential and practical applications, starting with why companies should care. Andreas, you ready? So the question for you, and it's kind of twofold. How did you get into this? What was that like at first? And what keeps you up at night?
Depends. If I'm staying at home, it's my two little children, 2 and 4 years, keep me wake up. Then maybe, of course, the client's work. No, I mean, honestly, we are not really concerned about the hiring process, because within Kerkhoff, now existing for 25 years on the market, we're quite used to use freelancers in our projects. It's part of our culture. Whenever we need support, we get it. Of course, you need to have the network. You need to really create relationship with the people you work with. They become, as I said previously, part of our culture. But this is keeping me quite confident that whenever we have any kind of requirement, and you know that projects pop up overnight. So even today, several of new projects coming in, and we have to identify what kind of resources do we need in terms of how many people in terms of expertise, in terms of different expertise of specific industry sectors, for instance. So as a consultant, we and specifically we are boutique consultancy, so focusing on procurement and SCM. So we have to have specific people running the project, not the generalists. So, and having this kind of network, it keeps you quite feel well, and you do not have to be afraid of not finding the right people at place. First of all, we have a great team in Düsseldorf and in Vienna, but same, I mean, part of about, we have 85 people, specific consultants, and whenever we need more, we get them, because we have partners like Malt, and it's not an advertisement here, it's really the truth. Having them keeps you at least in the bed. I mean, as I said, depending if the children are coming in or not, you have to get up or not, but it's make you feel confident, honestly. Yeah.
Now, who here is company is consulting? Okay, that's it. Do you guys tap right here? Okay. Do you have your thumb like this, or this? Like this? Oh, thank God. If it was this, I was going to say you're screwed, because if you're competing against him, good luck. Daniel, you have a hilarious question. You can be as honest or not honest as you want. I don't know who put this in. It says, tell us about your income and your career and how has it changed?
Yeah. So I would say I'm a typical German career guy. So I started with I did my A levels, I did my studies. So that's what they tell you, right? That's how you become successful. I joined PwC as one of the big four, then went on to Deutsche Bank and to Bombardier. So I always had an increase in salary, always an increase in responsibilities. But then there was the big hit, the hire and fire mentality by an American company, Bombardier. So they kicked me out. So this was the hard experience I had to make. This is how, when I became kind of a freelancer, or I thought I'm on my own. So I joined this platform, and the first couple of years it was really hard, because what I had forgotten about during my corporate career period was the personal branding. So I was always identifying myself with the company, and the company sucked me out, like my knowledge and my experience and all the stuff. And then once I was independent, I had to build my reputation and my personal brand. And now this worked out 7 years ago. So income is pretty high, and this is why I can now focus on building my own consultancy, like you do. And next step would then be, once I have a brand reputation with a company in the market, I would also go to Malt and source the consultants there. So yeah, this is my experience with this journey.
I'm going to sneak out
In
the
Germany,
edge.
we don't talk about income, so.
I know. I gave him the option. We know it went like this. So, Berlin, how does Malt fit as a solution in the greater picture and metrics? What are you seeing from your clients in terms of why they're digging into Malt?
Well, on the greater picture, and I think very attached to what you were doing previously on the keynote, Malt is aiming to help with this kind of like change in the workplace generally. And me as a CPO, I joined Malt because I believe that tech can really help smooth this transition towards a place where freelancing is part of a global strategy of a company. So for the ones who haven't heard about Malt before, Malt is the biggest freelance marketplace in Europe. We have more than 800,000 freelancers by now in 40 different countries. And we have them in a lot of different verticals. So as you see, consultants, he probably hires consultants too. But we have tech and marketing, and we have HR people, and we have ops people. So we have everything out there. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to build a platform that allows the clients to, one, translate that need, whatever that looks like. Some of the sentences you wrote at the end would perfectly fit our AI brief builder, where you basically kind of know what you want, but then we build technology to translate this into skills. And then we use these skills to match it with the right freelancers for that project with our algorithms. And then we have a group of experts, which there are a bunch of them here today, which can refine that selection and help you find the perfect fit so that we can bring that matching at scale and you can find the right freelancer for anything that you're looking for. And on top of this, because as you were saying, there's a lot of freelancer under the hood today in any company, we bring the payment, the contractualization, the compliance at scale, completely automatically through the platform. Plus, because, as you said, everybody works with freelancers. You can even bring your own freelancers into Malt. And the goal is to really become partners of companies to centralize and scale freelancing in a different way. And we see this with a lot of big clients. Even in Germany, we have Sanofi or Bayer, Schneider Electric or Bosch. And also in mid-market, it's a very big trend. I think more and more companies are embracing that way of looking at freelancing, not from like a specific need. Even I'll tell you, Malt before was more of I need one tiny project, like a brand logo. And then they would come to Malt to find a freelancer for like that specific project. Now, most of our projects are on average 6 to 12 months. So we see a complete change on the way that companies operate. They bring them in, they integrate them, and they bring them as part of what we call in Malt super teams. So they mix the internal talent with the right skills from the outside and then work together for 6, 12 months, sometimes even 2 years. So it's quite a change in the mindset that we've seen.
Perfect. Now, okay, if you guys have been thinking like challenges, right? This all sounds good and rosy. We're about to get into the challenges now. And I'm going to hit on you two, okay? The data says that over 60% of freelancers say that their client does not know how to work with them. Pretty alarming. And in some sectors, it's even higher. It goes up to 75%. Now with you two, we're going to play this fun game. For you, I would like you to tell us, what is your experience like when you start with most clients? And then from you, what does your experience look like to scale a freelance program? Go.
So I've worked in all the fields, be it a startup or SME, so Mittelstand or enterprise client. And for all of them, I have a very good experience in the onboarding phase. Let's call it like that. I'm a more strategy consultant, so I'm a bit more expensive, I would say. So I think they
We
really
don't talk about income here.
Yeah, but we talk about expenses, okay? So from a client's perspective, so I think they really want to make sure every euro is invested well, so the teams are prepared. And I'm being bored. Sometimes I have the feeling I'm being bored, bringing expertise and leadership. I think that's what you mentioned in your keynote. So I think it's, in my case, it has always been positive and efficient.
Now for you guys working together? What's going on? How come he's a good experience? I know. It's man. Who's paying who? Just kidding. So from you, I kind of got two questions, and that is, what did it look like at first? What have you learned? Actually, 3 questions now.
Yeah.
And then what does it look like today? I'm throwing it all at you.
I mean, I started my career also in the industry before. So joined Krakow and became a consultant 5 years ago. Before in the industry, I had quite rarely really the contact to the model of freelancing. I worked in a huge tier 1, being in charge for procurement in Germany, globally operating. So in there we had our standard stuff. So today, when I joined Krakow, it was totally different. Because, I mean, it's kind of an enrichment to see whenever we need resources, expertise, we can trust that we can find it. From an economic point of view, it makes no sense to permanently hire them. We need them project-based. In some cases, we make a business case out of it, and we do promotion to run different similar projects with the freelancers together in different industry sectors, where we have experience built up. We incorporate them in the sales process itself, so they become visible in the pitches as well, because they are part of the team in the end, and not lonely wolves working in the background. They are visible in front of the client. So therefore, this was a change in experience also for myself. So today it's part of our DNS. I cannot imagine working without any kind of freelance or senior experts anymore. And whenever the business is growing, we need more experts. If it's specific know-how we need sometimes support. As I said, as a boutique consultancy, you do not sell wonderful PowerPoint slides. I mean, that's what people can maybe afford if they're big companies. So we have to be part of the implementation. So whenever we start, of course, we do PowerPoints. They're also beautiful, trust me. But yeah, we are paid for the P&L effect. So when we leave, we do not show how to restructure a company. We show how to get impact into the P&L together with the experts, our own ones, the ones from external one. And I mean, this requires trust. So trusted partners, we call them even colleagues. We have our own internal events with our freelancers. We invite them, become part of the network. And that's important to us. And yes, could we do the business without Malt? Maybe. But having somebody who's professionally supporting us, giving the flexibility to hire and in case we need them, and to not to lose the contact, but to free up the resources if we don't need them, I think that's important to us. And therefore, you asked me of the experience. I cannot imagine working without freelancers anymore. Yeah. But it's important that we have in mind that the business case has to be stable for us. So we have our own teams, therefore the gross profit, of course, has to be healthy. And that's also part of our internal strategy. We have to justify when to use and why to use freelancers. First, we have to get our own people into the jobs. That's number one, that's the priority. And just in case we can really state and qualify and really explain why we need these resources, we approve it as a leadership team. That's important. So also as an understanding for our own team, they have to understand why we get external support. Are we not good enough? Don't we have the own expertise, experience? So why is there somebody else coming? I mean, that's also a quite sensitive element, how to treat it and how to incorporate the guys and make them become part of our company culture. So that's why we do not have many of them, but a selected group of about 35, 40 people working closely together with us. That's why I said use your own ones.
Sorry. I actually want to add to this because I think, onboarding and using freelancers has to be an intentional decision. Onboarding in terms of we see it with the most successful clients. They make it part of their teams. They create their after work where they're invited.
Yes.
And I think intentional, and this is, you're very serious on how you pick your freelancers. And Malt internally, obviously, because we are a freelancer marketplace, we have our own budget. So I can choose when and how I use my freelance budget, but we use them for almost everything. Our AI models are built with external help also sometimes when we need extra data scientists, or our CFO is an interim CFO and we hired him because we needed an interim manager. We hire engineers when we are at peak at capacity, or we need, to refine the practices of product, and we bring a scrum master for a second to help us on certain things. But we do use them internally a lot. I don't think anyone controls how we spend our money on freelancing. It's more like we have a budget allocation and we have to report on how much we spend, of course, and you cannot go above your budget, but how you use it, if you give the freedom, they discretionarily use it for what really matters.
So any questions? Okay. I want to make sure I call out your point on sales. How incredible that you now have a tool to go win work, right? And go win by putting them in the RFPs or the proposals, you name it. That's one of my favorite use cases for that. Now, we're going to get into sort of next steps, okay? And before, so there were the challenges. I have one more exciting thing that I want to talk about, which is with you. And that's the big win. And I want to talk about which clients would you say are really taking it and what are they doing?
Yeah, I think the biggest successes that we've seen, and I'm going to mention one which it's the talk of town today in Malt, is Schneider Electric. And the reason why is because we developed a partnership with HR and procurement both, with a global team internally of our best sales and our best product team. And we launched Malt as their favorite, preferred partner for freelancing across Europe, across all entities in Europe, with a connection to their e-procurement system so that the purchase orders are automatically approved. Well, not automatically, but are approved on their tool. If not, they wouldn't be approvable. Sorry, but they are automatically sent to their system and approved on their system, and then automatically the approval workflow starts. So we have deployed consciously a global solution, and they are really making it part of their talent strategy. And we are partners. We talk about their needs. We report on our supply. We even are evolving our product because of what they need, you know. So if we were not able to serve them as a global partner maybe before, we are now, because we know that we need to evolve, and we want to have 1,000 more Schneider Electrics, people who really take freelancing as a global workforce. And we are in that process already starting to really become that partner. And for that, we need to evolve and really become a global platform. We are already in terms of clearly freelance supply. Freelance community. If someone heard me say supply, they would maybe fire me. Freelance community. But we still need to like bring the revolution and the mindset to a lot of these enterprises.
So, Daniel, you're going to have a question on your favorite clients. Okay, so I want you all to listen up to exactly what he's going to say. But I have another quick little exercise. And Becca, I'm so sorry you've not been prepped for any of this. But so, okay, let's go thumbs up. All right, so you all had your thumbs up. So ready? Everyone get them back up? Yeah, there, perfect. Okay, now I'm going to ask a question. Who is willing, and thumbs up means yes, thumb downs mean no, sideways means maybe, to allocate $20,000 tomorrow to freelance? What do we got? I love it. I love the bit. Yes, the honesty. Okay, what else we got? We got it. Okay, now we're talking 30,000. Maybe. Still up, still up, still up. Okay, 50,000. Still up. Okay. Thank God I invested in this new facial technology. I know exactly who you are. No, just kidding. So, Daniel, you see who wants you, okay? I want you to tell us, what clients do you love working with? What kind of clients do you love working with, and why?
Thank you. Usually,
I'll give you $20.
what I want to achieve working with Malt is to cut out the middle, you know, the other brand. But no, okay. Thank you. So I'm a traditional German, I would say, and I love the economic power we have here. And I know and I see that especially the Mittelstand SME market is really struggling. We have mindset topics, we have area topics or regional topics, but it's changing. It's changing. So I'm frequently booked now by in my field of expertise, which is HR global mobility. It's like international HR, by the Mittelstand in Germany. And what I love about these guys is they appreciate what I do and the speed I can bring to them, because they're not really used to this speed. They're really good in their industry, but and that's also very German, I would say. They have cut the other areas of expertise, and they're really bad at this. And so they need these kind of freelancers. They need me, and that's a good feeling. And once I'm in there, and we talked about the onboarding process, which is usually very much efficient, they give you like a leadership role. So you educate the team, you educate the internals. You can actually, now the mic is off, you can change their mindset as well. I think it doesn't work at all. Let's have a drink. Yes. So that's my answer. The Mittelstand in Germany is once you get in and they can experience you, they have a very positive experience with you, and they book you again. And
So I'm going to yell. Okay. So give leadership responsibility, right? Don't just give them a task that's crazy and say, do it exactly like this. Let him decide. Let him build the scope. Now, you guys okay with yelling?
Yes.
In the back, can you hear us? Yeah, thumbs up again. 50,000, 100,000. Nah, just kidding. I see 100 now. Just kidding. Andres, over to you on what do you want every single person here to know about what they need to do to get started, as well as who? Do they need to loop in the CEO? Do they need to loop in a product lead, marketing lead, you name it? So what do they need to do? And someone had 100,000, so talk to them. But what do they need to do, and who needs to be involved?
I mean, the question is not on how to, or who to address. I mean, I am addressing my answer to the ones who are freelancers. As you said, I mean, that's really important even to us. I mean, to have somebody who has a sharp profile. So have a specific expertise, reputation in the market already, success stories, this kind of people we can also call asking for some feedback on the work you did before. I mean, having this kind of story, being unique, specific. I mean, not the one which I can find on each side of the road. I mean, I need people who are different and they got hired. I mean, and this is most probably the idea of becoming a freelancer, how to differentiate on the market between so many people being there now. They all look for jobs. Some of them have maybe a better network, some not. But if you work together with Malt, it's also important for your algorithms in the background to really find the right people we are looking for. You get the key parameters from us. We send the requirements, and then the algorithm starts. And by the way, we should not forget the people working together with the algorithms. That's real man force on also one of the great advantages working together, in this case with Malt or in the industry with freelance companies, create this kind of connection to the key people you usually address to. Because like with Christine and the team, we work together. I mean, we have recent calls. I mean, we exchange discussing on projects, on the requirements we have. And she has a wonderful overview together with the bots and the algorithms and background on who to most probably address to, who's the right one for the project. And that's what we need. And the better your profiles are, the specification and the track record which you show, the better for Malt and for us in the end.
May I add one thing? I fully agree with you, but I think also a challenge for the freelancers, mainly in Germany, is they come from a corporate environment.
Yes.
So they have been appreciated somehow. So they have climbed up the corporate ladder and they have certain expectations. And then once you hit the freelance market, as I said, it's all about personal branding. It's about the niche. It's about your specific expertise and not about your reputation you build in the corporate environment. So this is really... This is hard. This needs a mindset change also in the you call it supply, the freelance supply in the community here. That's a cultural difference.
And don't become too unique. I mean, we need team players. Yeah, that's also important. Be specific, but be part of a team, not the lonely wolf. There might be industries where it might work. I mean, in our field, in the consultancy area, we need people we can work together with. We also give the full control of teams to some of the freelancers, managing the team on side of the client. So we have fully trust them, and that's important. Not to, I mean, wherever you can free up your personality, that's beautiful. But in many cases, it's really important to become a part of a team, to work together, collaborate together, and not being the lonely wolf. And you have to have the contact. You have to be ready to travel, be flexible. In our business case, our clients want us back on site. Of course, we all got the great news of new world of work. I mean, being at home, working in my office, in my environment. But there are many of those specific German companies who really want us being back on site to influence also on site their teams, the culture, bringing them back, building up also kind of a network together with the client, exchanging experience. And it's people business. And we cannot do it only and exclusively remotely. So be flexible also in your availability to travel and being together with us on side of the client.
So last question, okay? Beck, is there any drinks left, by the way?
Hopefully.
Yeah, you guys drinks left? Okay, perfect. Sweet, music. So do we have any questions in the crowd? No? Okay, just kidding. Berlin, last question's for you. We got a couple of $50,000 budgets, 50,000 POs, 20,000, you name it. What should they do right now?
I think first, if I have a wish today, is that maybe there has been a bit of a change in mindset about freelancing and a bit of like embracing freelancing generally. If I talk reality, I think a lot of our clients start with mostly like tech, IT, data kind of profiles, because those are like the verticals that we have that are rapidly changing, and we don't have sometimes the skills in-house. And finding someone to hire, especially in Germany, where anyone leaving a job, please first, I think it's fine. Do you hear me fine? Okay.
I mean, someone's falling asleep back there. Just kidding.
And especially in Germany, we're hiring, like you decide to hire someone and then you actually have to find them and then they need to leave their job and then they need to join your company. It takes 6 months. We cannot afford 6 months of time to actually find the right talent and start doing things. So freelancing opens that door for all the German companies to find that talent. And actually, you can be matched in a couple of hours. You can hire someone in less than a week and have them onboarded in like less than 2 weeks. And then you can actually keep the innovation and the speed going.
And if I could add for all of you, if you have not hired a freelancer before, seriously, like just try it. You'll be amazed by the specificity, the expertise. Just literally send a search. And I know I wasn't going to talk about AI, but one of the beauties of AI is say as little as possible, and you'll probably still get a pretty relevant search. I'll give a quick example for me. So, we published a book with HarperCollins in 2021, right? And people always ask, like, what was the process to get there? Well, one of the first things was I just simply wanted to write a paper on how AI is impacting work. This is in 2016. So I went to a platform, put in my problem, and I had one of the first O'Reilly deep learning teachers start to work on that. That person became my co-author. And so at the age of 26, I have someone that I prior would have had to been a CEO to access just because of freelance. And so seriously, you will be amazed by the level of expertise when you just try it. That's what I would say. Any other questions? Sweet. Thumbs up, 50,000, 100,000, 200. All right. Thank you.